I'm working on the tambour section of the Secretary, and this is that section, and you can see the open tambour doors in the open position, and that the doors slide along grooves in both the bottom and the top. So I'm working on the door itself, and this door is, each door is about 50 slats. You can see some of these that in a preliminary condition right now. That each one of these slats, well, actually, here's 4 of the slats that I've already cleaned up and sized. Each of these doors has 50 of these slats, and there are 2 types of slats. There's a mahogany veneer on this slat with a white holly stringing on the edge, and then there is a crotch cypress veneer on this slat with a ebony stringing on the edge, and they are arranged in pair like this, alternating, and as I said, there'll be 50 of these for each door. So the way I made these things, I cut a mahogany piece of, here's a piece of mahogany. It's 3/8 wide and a little bit fat of 1/4 of an inch thick. And then I veneered, in this case, I veneered that crotch cypress on top of that face, created a little rabbet in the edge, and glued in this piece of ebony stringing. So there's just a mess of hot-hide glue all over this, and it has to be sized now and cleaned up, and I'll show how I go about that process. First of all, well, here's a little fixture that I made to help clean these up, and I've cut to the length that I need, and the first thing I do is flatten the top surface with that veneer, and the plane rides in a groove here. And right now it's just knocking down that extra thickness, that stringing, that ebony stringing. And I've set the depth of this groove, or this slot in here. The depth of that slot is 1/4 of an inch. I want the slat to be 1/4 of an inch thick, and this helps to make that pretty accurate. Now, I'll plane this front face until all of the glue is removed. I still have some glue in here and glue right there. Just a couple more passes, I would say. And that's about it. Now I've got a nice surface here, but I want to make sure this is 1/4 of an inch. So I turn it over, look at the grain direction, and knock this down to until it stops. And then I know I've got the 1/4 of an inch. The plane won't dig out any more of this surface here because the edge of the plane is riding on the surface outside of the blade. So that's what makes that work. So this is now the thickness that I need, but now I've got some extra ebony on this face, and the way I just do that is just knock it off here. Let me check to make sure that this is in the picture. I think it is. So I just knock this down to and again I'm getting rid of all the glue on there. And that's how I know when to stop. There it is. And turn that around and knock this end down. I'm sure there are many ways of making these slats and cleaning them up. So far, this is the way I've settled on doing it. There it is. And that can then match up with one of the other slats like that.